Okay. Yesterday we learned about the importance of learning halacha. But there's really two types of halacha that we're talking about. One of them is called ratzo and the other one is called shov. Ratzo is the idea that even if a person's kind of doing well in their life and they're in a good place, they can't be complacent. They need to continue to grow and continue to move forward, or else the world's going to start passing them by. And the other level is shov, is that when a person falls to the pits, nonetheless, they need to kind of regather themselves and continue to move forward. And that is the definition of tshuva. A person really fulfills tshuva when they have these both these levels. They know halacha, they're really learning halacha, they're seeing what Hashem wants them to do in their lives, but they also understand that they need to keep moving and they need to never give up. So now we're in Torah Bet, Meshivat Nafesh, which is very short, because we're fairly short on time today. Well, let's go. Ikar Gedulato Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One of the most important things about the greatness of Hashem, Shegam harchoki mimenu yiparach ma'od ma'od, gam hein yitkarvu lavodato, is that even if people are incredibly far away from Hashem, Hashem is so great that He even allows those people to come close to Him. The people that aren't the most wonderful people in the world, let's just say, or at least at this stage. Uvazeh nit yaker v'nitaleh shemo yiparach l'malo u'l'mata. And by these people coming close to Hashem, that brings greatness to Hashem in the world. Al kain ein la'adam le'ya'ish atzmo melehit karev la'avodat Hashem mechamat shenitrachik ma'od me'Hashem yiparach al yidei chata'av hamarubim. So therefore, a person should never give up, because one of the greatest character traits, if you will, of Hashem is the ability to receive people and allow people to come close to Him, even though He's so holy. And even though we might not be, or at least feel so holy at that moment, Hashem allows us to come close. And therefore, a person should never give up, even no matter how far they are, or how much they've sinned, or how much they've done in their life that they're embarrassed, that they say, how can I come close to Hashem? You don't know who I was. You don't know the type of person that I was. I mean, that type of person could never come close to Hashem. That's a fallacy. Of course we can. And it's not dependent on us per se. It's dependent on His greatness and His mercy. Even if this person has done a lot of evil in the world, they've hurt a lot of people, they've done a lot of damage, nonetheless, even that person can come back to Hashem. Ki adarabba mimenu daika yitalev yishtabach v'yitgadel kvodo yiparach biyoter kanal. All the more so, a person who has reached such a low level, and kind of everybody knows him as or her as a balchait, a person who's a sinner, a complete sinner. When that person comes back to Hashem, that brings even more greatness to Hashem in the world. I mean, think about it. Think about stories that you know. I mean, it's a little bit of a different scenario slightly, but I once heard a story from Dr. Pelkovitz when it comes to chinuch, educating your children, and what do you do when, unfortunately, maybe after 12 years of a yeshiva education, that kid decides to say, you know what, who needs a kippah, who needs to fill in, who needs to wear a skirt or a dress, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. And they go off to secular college. And ultimately, he knows a story about that is one of his classmates that he went to yeshiva day school with completely went off the derech, married a non-Jewish woman, and that was it. And that's all everybody heard from him, was that he was out, he was gone. And there was at one point where Dr. Pelkovitz was like in California or something like that, giving being the scholar in residence at a certain shul, and he was giving a talk. And in the back of the room, he sees this fellow, and he says, this guy looks really familiar, but he's not exactly certain is it that guy? No, I can't be that guy. I'm in an Orthodox shul in the middle of California. How can it be that guy? So afterwards, this fellow ends up coming up to Dr. Pelkovitz, and he says, hey, I thought it was a great talk. You know, I'm so-and-so. We went to high school together. He's like, what? You? No. Like, I heard that you kind of, you know, left the way. And he said, yeah, I did. And now this guy's wearing a kippah, he's wearing tzitzit, he's going to the shul. He said, what happened? He's like, well, you're right, I was married to a non-Jewish woman, but, you know, it didn't work out. And after that, I was completely destroyed by it. And my life was completely turned upside down. I didn't know what to do, where to go. I didn't know who to turn to. But what I started thinking about was the warmth of my father's table on Shabbat. About how amazing of an experience it was just to kind of have family there who loved you, who cared for you, that was centered around this very important day known as Shabbat. And he said because of those warm feelings, and specifically because his parents never gave up on him, they weren't overly thrilled about his life decisions at times, let's just say, but they were constantly staying in touch with him, constantly showing their care and their love. So he said when he eventually left this woman, he went back to his parents. He went back to the teachings of his parents, and eventually he became a chozer b'tshuva, a bal tshuva, and he returned to the light. So if you think about it, what causes a greater impact? What causes Hashem's name to be known more in the world? A person who grew up learning for 15 hours a day, and every time they davened, it was for an hour and a half. They had kavana until from this end of the world to the next. That's nice, but it's like, okay, like great, obviously it's amazing. It brings tremendous kavod to Hashem in the world. Or what about a person who completely left everything, and they tasted all of the delights of the world, and they found that, you know what really tastes delicious? Torah. Torah is delicious. Mitzvot are delicious. They completely put meaning and context into my entire existence. Everything else was just purely about how can I get the next pleasurable experience. But now, by withholding myself from doing things that I wanted in the past, and saying, you know what, all of my greatness, all of my success is really attributed to Hashem. Hashem gives me the strength. He gave me the opportunity. He gave me the wisdom and know-how. Ultimately, what am I? I stepped through the door. I stepped through the door. So it seems like over here in Torah Bet, Rabbi Nachman is saying that the person who's on such a low level, a person who's strayed to the farthest, they're the ones who bring such a great joy to those who hear about it. To those who hear about how this person came close to Hashem. It gives tremendous chizuk for all those Bali Tshuva out there, all those people who went through difficult stages in their lives. They should tell their stories. When I myself, was becoming religious, there was a guy, a very dear friend of mine, Mendy Mark, who grew up in the yeshiva day school. He was religious his whole life. He's a fantastic person. And for me, as I was becoming religious, at one day he said, he came to me and he's like, you know, Dov, you're such an inspiration to me. You and other people, all these guys and girls who are becoming religious or connecting to Hashem. It's so inspirational to me. I grew up with this. It's such a given in many ways. But you guys, to see the love and the care and the inspiration that you take to Yiddishkeit, it really inspires me. And I said, dude, you inspire me. Like your commitment to do this your whole life and to continue to grow and continue to learn, that's an inspiration to me. So you see that we can inspire each other. And by inspiring each other, we bring kavod shemayim. Aval ikar hitkarvut harchokim l'Hashem barach hu al yedei tzadikei hador. But the way in which a person really comes close to Hashem is through the tzaddikim of the generation. Now, with that being said, I want to dedicate this learning to the refuah shlema, to the comfort and the strength of my Rebbe, my tzaddik in my life, Rav Eli Allen, who his father is not doing so well right now, Rav Avraham ben Salcha, should have a refuah shlema. And that by coming close to the tzaddikim, coming close to the people who truly know the derech Hashem, and they can get to know you, and they can help guide you through the paths of this tremendously difficult world. That is how the people who are distant from Hashem can come close to Him, by finding somebody who can lead you down the trail. And those are the tzaddikim, the true tzaddikim. Till next time. I'm really sad to announce that my Rebbe's father, Rav Avraham Allen, just passed away, and he was a tremendous influence on me, indirectly through his son and directly through him. He's truly an amazing person. He helped he founded himself the Sephardic community in Englewood and built it up to a beautiful pillar of Judaism in New Jersey. And he was a tremendous giver. He opened his home to anybody who needed it. He's a self-made man, became very successful in business, and even more so in spirituality and helping others. And I plan on taking his lessons and the example that he lived by and bringing it into my life even more so. And the Allen family should be comforted.